This short video will introduce the new Course Poll tool. Let's start from the viewpoint of a student. Polls will appear like any other content item. Here we can see one called Initial Thoughts, and we can recognize the new polling icon. To use the poll, you simply click on the title. Here the student is seeing a question about nature or nurture and is allowed to vote for one of four options. If you hold the mouse over it, you can see the selected option is highlighted. Let's pick nurture, and our vote is saved. And their vote has been added to the others in this class. We can see here that the user selection, nurture, has been voted for by 2 individuals and is currently the most popular. In this example, we can see that the votes in both columns are the same. The current votes and the history show the same numbers in each row. That's because, in each case, students have only voted once. But if you want, you can configure your poll to allow multiple voting, and that's been done in this case. So if I want to change my mind, I can vote again. It shows me my current vote, but if I decide I want to join the Nature Club, the data is updated automatically. The first column, votes, shows the current votes for each user, so each person has only one entry in that column. In the second one, you see all the votes. So this is every single vote historically. So in this case, we have 5 historical votes and 4 real votes. So one person, who we know happens to be this user Fred, has voted twice. And to confirm that, we can look in the voting history. And that displays the names of all the people who voted and when, highlighting their latest vote. And you can sort this by response or showing the latest vote, just like any other list in Blackboard. Below the list of results is an optional comments page, when you can see comments added by other users. It uses the Blackboard profile system, so you can hold your mouse over an individual to see their Blackboard profile, link to them, send them messages, whatever you want to do. Posts made by members of staff are highlighted with the small staff button to allow students to differentiate between comments from their peers and those from the lecturers. If you want to add a new comment, click the Add Comment button at the top of the page. Simple form opens. Type in a suitable comment and press Save. And it's added to the list of comments. If you're the author of the post, you can edit it, but you're not allowed to leave it empty. So if I go in and edit the comment, try and remove it, all the entries, and press Update, it'll warn me that comments must contain some text. Let's now switch to the view of a member of staff. Okay, we're in the same course. I will start by turning edit mode off. As a member of staff, we can click on the poll as well, as if we're demonstrating this to our students. And we see the ability to vote just like they do. So this time I'm going to choose the last option. You can see the receipt message is slightly different, because polls are really only for students, so your vote doesn't count. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we've updated the voting count. So we can see that Don't Think You Can Generalize now has 2 votes. And if I want to, I can demonstrate how to vote again as a member of staff. It'll show me what I last voted here, Don't Think You Can Generalize, and I can now choose a different answer. My vote will be updated, and temporarily the votes column is showing my fake vote, although for other students they won't see that vote at all. The voting history is not updated, so if I look at that, I won't see any of my votes because they're not counted, and other people could see this as well. But as a member of staff, I have more power over the comments. So I can go in and any comment, I get the ability to edit or delete it. So if someone posts something that I don't think is appropriate, I can go in and just reword it, mask the offensive words, or delete it outright. Obviously this is a last resort option, and it'd be much better to talk to the student concerned and get them to change it. Having demonstrated the poll to your class, you might want to make some changes. To do that, we'll turn edit mode on. Edit mode on takes us to the Manage page, and that's exactly the same thing as if we clicked the link before. So I'll just do that now to show that. So if we enter our course with edit mode on and click the initial link, we'll reach the same manage page. Notice in this case we do not need to vote before we can see the results, and the votes reflect only those cast by students. We've got the same ability to add comments at the right and look at the voting history, and we can go in and edit a particular comment should we wish to. As well, we've got two buttons here at the top, one which allows us to edit the poll settings for the content item, and the second resets the poll, which deletes any votes and comments. We'll come back to why we want to do that shortly, but we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. So let's see now how to create a brand new poll. For that, we need to return to a content area. To create a new poll, you simply go to the Build Content menu and choose the option Course Poll. And we open a very standard looking form allowing you to provide the information for the content item. You can complete this form and press Submit, or if the course contains existing polls, we can actually go in, we can see the polls that are available in this course and pick one of them. So we'll copy our initial thoughts and duplicate it. And all this does is pre-populates the fields with the same settings for that poll. So we can come in, and this time we'll make this at the end of the course. And you've got the full power of the Visual Textbooks editor, so you can make things bold, change the font and so on as you see fit. And this first step essentially defines the text that students see on the course page, so it gives you the title of the content item and its description. Step 2 defines the question set as the poll. This can be as complicated or as simple as you like. We could get rid of this two-stage title, simple question, we've got our responses. By default it displays 5, but you can use the add buttons and the subtract buttons to remove or add new poll options. Don't worry about leaving blanks, it skips the first blank and doesn't add any more. So if we wanted to add another, we have this blank line here and just submit it. Doesn't matter, we won't worry. You won't be ever offered a blank option, you'll just get the 6 shown here. If we decide no, we don't want those, we can just remove them from the screen and we'll only see the 4 in the poll. When you voted, students see a green receipt page with a message. You've got the option here to customize it. By default it just says thank you for voting, but if you want you can add something else. Step 3 configures how often and when students can interact with the poll. So the first option is whether students can vote more than once. The second, whether or not you allow them to add comments. And the third allows you to constrain the voting period. If a student tries to access a poll before it's open, they'll see a page listing the question but not allowing them to vote. If they access it after the poll is closed, they'll be taken straight to the results page and unable to vote as well. Below that, in the final step, are the standard Blackboard content item options. So you can make the content available or not, you can track the number of views, and you can select date and time restrictions for when the whole content item is visible to students. Choose what's appropriate, press submit. And a new content item has been created and appears at the bottom of our list. And here we go, back to the manage page. There's no reset button just now because no one has voted, but at any time we can click edit and return to it and see the content item. Change the title, change the colour as you wish. The other way to edit content item is just like any other Blackboard item. Use the context menu and choose the option edit. And when we open this poll, you can see we've got a red warning message displayed on the screen. And this is because some students have already voted. And if we change the question, or worse, change the responses, then that would invalidate those existing votes. So in this mode, you're actually locked out of changing the responses. You're allowed to change the question in case you want to change a typo, but it's really up to you as a professional educator not to change the question partway through and then present the results to your students. If you want to change the options, you made a mistake, then you have to click the reset poll button. You can see there's a confirmation dialog. If you press OK, the poll's reset, and you've now got the ability to add or edit the questions. So if I want to get rid of these and just leave it as yes, no, don't know. I'm done. I can press submit to save it. So if we go back to that content item now with edit mode on, click on the link, you'll see that there's no votes because it's been reset. And there's a prompt for you to add a comment because there's none available. And that's really all there is to the course poll. I hope you find it useful and it helps you and your students in their learning.